My name's John Mendez and we're doing the latest in our boat skills. This one's all about what to do when you've got a rope around the prop. First thing we need to be thinking about is safety. If this is at sea and this situation happens and the boat can't move and can't use the engines, if I fall off, we've got an even greater problem. So first thing we're going to do is take a safety line, clip it onto my life jacket, and now when I attach the other end to the boat, I'm going to be nice and safe. My life jacket doesn't have a purpose hoop on it, but I've just wound it round the central main strap, nice and safe. Now this one happened, we were going along and both engines have come to a halt. As I've leant over the back, I've managed to spot the loose end of the rope, so I'm just going to tie that on so that we don't lose it, because that would be even worse. And I've managed to raise the drives. You can probably see those just below the surface there, which gives me easier access. So the next thing I'm going to do is pull my sleeve up, get a knife and see if I can undo what's there. I've got a couple of knives. Most boats have a bread knife of some description. They're not bad. The handle doesn't have a lot of grip on. But I've also got one of these. This is designed as a diving rescue knife. It floats, which is useful if you let go. It's got somewhere to tie a lanyard on, which is handy, but the last thing we want to do is wrap that around the prop. But more importantly, because it's reasonably pointed, I can stick it into where the rope's tightest and use it as a sawing action. So this has got a nice serrations on the blade. When you go to get this line off, it nearly always comes in bits. So I'm going to get myself safely positioned, pull off the bit I tied, pull it tight. So that's one bit off. And now, when I pull, it's really tight. So I'm going to use my arm just to rotate the prop a bit, if I can. God, that's really stiff. Trying to work out which way it goes to make the line longer. And I can see a bit more there. Luckily this line's yellow. Let's have another snip, get a bit more off. There comes a bit more. No, long way, getting shorter. Getting longer again. Wee bit more. As the last bit. Now I'm just going to rotate the props. Make sure they turn cleanly. That's looking good. This line's quite thin, but not so thin that it would go in the front of the spacer and the seal. So if it's very thin line like fishing line, it can physically get in front of the seals and damage the water seal to the leg. This stuff's quite thick, so no great problem there. Now we can lower the legs, start our journey. On a shaft drive boat, the problem's a little bit more complex because quite often the props are tucked away under. So we need a longer pole because my arms alone won't reach. Now I'm using a boat wash brush. You can use the boat hook, whatever's handy really. I prefer these because I find they're slightly stronger. So the first thing I've done is cable tied my knife to the end of the pole. And then I'm going to put a bit of gaffer tape over the top just to stop it twisting on the pole. I'm not worried about it coming off, but I don't want it to twist. So the gaffer tape stops the knife just twisting round on the pole, because I need to know where the blade bit is. So when I extend the pole, there we go. This one has got a nice little yellow tap bit on it. So I'm lining the tap bit there up with the blade of the knife there. So when I tighten, I know where the blade is, so I can actually make sure I'm cutting, because if I was that way round, not much is going to happen. So little tip, get your blade in the right place. Secret now is to get yourself in a position that you can push the blade in pretty horizontally. So again, I'm clipped on, going to lay as far over as I dare, and if we had a crew person they could hold my life jacket. Now I'm just going to take the blade and poke it downwards and find the rudder. There's the rudder. So I know straight away that the prop's going to be in front of that. So at this point, as horizontal as I can with the blade, gently work it in, moving it up and down. There's the prop. I don't know if you can hear it tinging on the prop. Look at my yellow thing, so blade's facing me, turn it over, saw away. Luckily they're bronze props, so I'm not going to cut them off, and that means I can actually physically saw through any rope that's round that prop, and hopefully we'll see the bits come off. When you think you've got rid of it, we'll remove that, get ourselves nice and safe, restart our engines and very gently ahead and astern to make sure we got full movement. Check the other one, don't want to have that rope come off this one and go on the other, and then we're all done. So just in summary, if we're on an outdrive boat, relatively easy to be able to see what you're doing and to know that you've got it cleared. Much more difficult with the shafts, so if you do feel that you've got drive again, try it gently ahead and astern, make sure you're comfortable, and then probably proceed slowly until you can get the boat either inspected by a diver or lifted to make sure that you're absolutely certain there's nothing left. Again, we just need to be conscious from a safety point of view that if the boat's completely disabled, you will need to contact the Coast Guard and get some assistance.